Hey, Dragon. Ah, Tony Nash. Been a while since I've seen you here. And let's see, that should do. Put this monstrosity under. Oops, that'll probably hurt the hard drives. Hey, game music crew. No, I'm getting straight into it because I've got a bunch of stuff to do. So this is a ancient old P300, and the person's basically said that I'll use it for a bit. Hey, look, there's nothing in there. That's typical. He's got 2 drive bays in them. They'll use it for a bit and then it conks out. And sure enough, I put my Ubuntu test stick in there and ran the CPU burn. And what do you know? 3 or 4 minutes later, punk, it dies. Hey, ITC. DDR2 RAM. Whole 4 gigs of it. I must have gone all out on this one. Yeah. So it's just a late night. I'm just figured I'll get some catch-up work done. And these sort of jobs are usually something I can do blind. Obviously not literally, but you know what I mean. It's usually not a major trouble. So what I'm really looking for is the typical lint in the dryer fan situation. Money on the heat pipe. We've got a heat pipe one rather than the actual fan. Okay, well, I got to tell you, I kind of have information that might upset that bit, because when I put my hand against the exhaust side, you can barely feel anything coming out of it. So what have we got in here? A 400 gigabyte drive. You do not see 400 gigabyte very often. That's quite unusual. You see 320, 250, 500, 640, all that sort of stuff, but 400 is a little unusual. Ah, Tony, your employers don't like your streaming? Can't imagine watching streaming. How rude. Wouldn't that be educational information, potentially useful to your job? Lowers the stress rate. Unless, of course, you're watching me do something like a TriStar or whatever, in which case everybody's stress rates go up. If it's dry thermal compound, if that thing has a fan at all. Yeah, well, I guess we're going to see, aren't we? It could be all 3 of them. Oh, man. Need some more magnetism on these tips. These laptops also have the screw at the back here, which has caught me out a couple of times. Ah, great. Must remember, these are medium length screws. They're about 5mm. They're not 8mm screws. That's going to make things interesting. Do those drives have a recovery petition? Oh, you work for Diligent. Hey, Pianov. I've got to add some stuff to Open Board View. I'm getting sick of watching Open Board View do nothing but rot. So I'm going to add a couple of little features. The trouble is, it's been so long, I'm going to have to fork off from master again. I don't know what I'm going to do with regards to my own fork, as in the one I did all the work on originally. I think it's just going to be easy for me to rebase or whatever straight off the Open Board View one. and start fresh. I'm not sure if these drives have a recovery partition. They probably should. I think it's a Windows. Is it? No, it's a Vista. No, it might not actually have a recovery partition. Well, these screws are not coming out. That's pretty unusual. I'm going to spend half the night undoing screws. I mean, there's usually always like a Windows recovery partition. It really depends, I suppose, on how pressed for space they were. Maybe sometimes they decide to skip it, and what they'd often do... Oh wow, it's a 6.5 rather than an 8. I'm going to have to pay a lot of attention when I'm putting these screws back in, because they're all over the place. This is... The other thing I've got to pay attention of is I've got a Wi-Fi switch at the front here, and it is oh so easy to snap that off. And if you're wondering how I know that, it's because I found it was oh so easy to snap it off once. I get a feeling this... You're going to have to come out, or maybe you can stay there. I wonder if this has got a MXM graphics card in it. Hey, Taro. Come on. Let's see. Pick another tool. I gotta say, it's quite clean on the inside, this one. It's being kept in a... Given its... Oh, it's a Centrino. Oh my god. That's really dating it. There we go. I should be thankful for jobs that aren't too hard, because I have a MacBook coming in probably this weekend, and it's most likely going to be a keyboard replacement. It's an A1278, so for those of you who already know, there's going to be a whole bunch of screwing involved with that. Pulling rivets out, screwing 100 of rivets back in. It's no fun at all. Quite rather boring, in fact. Tedious, more than anything else. Although I have found, like, with the MacBook Pro keyboards, or the MacBook keyboards, that you've got to pull the rivets out. A 0.7 drill bit, maybe 0.8 mil. If those keyboard studs, rivets, break out, you can just drill them out. I should say if their heads break off, you can drill them out. And it still gives you enough bite to get the screw in. If you try drilling them out too much, then of course your new screw will not fit. It will not bite. Oh, come on, man. What's holding you in there? It's proprietary, is it? But A203437 with a short on PPV real-time clock, G3 hot. Okay, I haven't ever had one of those. Actually, I don't think I've ever touched a 3437. I don't get a lot of MacBooks here. I want more MacBooks, but I gotta tell you, I was looking at the classifieds the other day, just checking around, looking at prices and stuff, and people are selling 1278s, A1278s for up to $700 still. It's like, are you kidding? So those things are really getting a bit on in their age now. Most of them had hard drives that are on the verge of failure. Okay, I got something holding this up. It's not this screw. It's this one. Nice trick. Short, stumpy little thing too. It's probably under here. Yep, there's one under here too. So if you're not short and stumpy, this is going to be fun getting back together. Was this one of those cases where you just sort of go, the screws disappeared? Okay, what's over here? Another screw. Now we're good. Okay. Hey, Paulie Lewis and Alex. Yeah, Alex, it's ridiculous how much money people want for them. I mean, A127. Oh, wow. You guys got to check out this speaker. Someone's been playing some seriously heavy music on this thing. You can do it. Oh, I'm not going to get... there we go. Ah. Looks like someone forgot to turn on the microscope camera. See if we can get that in. Should come up any second now. Come on, don't make me restart. There we go. And we'll switch over to full screen. Yeah. That's one very beaten up speaker. Oop. Alright, let's get to the main issue, the cooling. Actually, the speaker on this side is perfectly fine. Oh, thank you, Toshiba. You put the cooling on the other side of the board. Of course you did. And you've even got a grounding strap there. You're out of here. Oh, this is not going to be fun. Starting to think I should just simply tell the person this is completely unrepairable. I can't believe how many screws are on this thing. Just bits and pieces and bits and pieces. It's almost as bad as taking apart console stations. And naturally, of course, the board runs under that, which means I've got to lift the whole screen hinge assembly out. That's bollocks. Complete and utter bollocks. Who does that? Someone in the design department get told by marketing to do that? Probably still not even going to come out. Probably got at least another dozen cables to go. Round 2, find... Hey, Wayne. Yeah, find the hidden screws. 2 flipping right. And there's a bunch of screws on here. Strangely, they're not marked with the arrows that you normally expect to see when on these boards they will say, you need to remove this. Come on. Look, I've got 3 screws here. For all I know, they're actually holding something important. My restriction does not appear to be in that area. Very, very tempted. Oh, shoot. It's half off. What the hell are you holding on to under there? Nothing. You're just being difficult. I'll be spewing if come on. Come on. What a god awful waste of my time. I think I'll probably be doing enough complaining. I should just man up and accept this has to be done. Audio jacks. Yeah, I thought they were... Where were they? They're at the front here. Yeah, you can't quite see. Let's see. There we go. They were at the front here. I cleared them. There was something... I don't even know where it was touching. Either way, it's getting on my nerves. Oh, yeah, okay, I know what's going on. Yeah, no wonder it's not working. I'm gonna write this one off. I'll get the data off for the person and then this thing can just take a hike. Come on. Show the world what you've done. There we go. Okay. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to have a look at why I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm surprised I didn't hear that. I'm surprised I didn't feel it. Maybe it's killed itself. You guys have about 5 seconds left before I tell the world. You lost your money? Yeah. Well, it's really hard for fans to work when they've only got, you know, a third of their impeller blades. And I don't know where the rest have gone, to be honest, because I've got 2 more there. And there's nothing in here, so where have they gone? I can imagine they've gone into the radiator system or something. And I can't see them up in here. I can't get that off. But yeah, that's the end of that one. That's going to be, I will just get the data off for them and the end. I mean, as it is, this card here, I'm amazed this card has lasted as long as it has. The screen I can already see is, oh, I found my other impeller blades. The screen I can already see is getting that brown, yellow, pink hue. So it's well and truly on the way out. Yeah, there's the rest of my impeller blades. Yeah, the gecko thought it was funny too. And it's at this point that if people want me to hand them back a laptop that was like, you know, in one piece, I usually charge. So when it's a give up situation like this, yeah. I mean, the fan's going to cost, let's see, what's the fan? It's going to be probably $25, $30 Australian. And screen backlights, probably not worth even doing. Better off just pull hard drive out, copy the data off to some other $50. This is not, no, that's just $50 second-hand piece of junk computer that you found, and you'd still be better off. I'm not even sure I'd even keep this as a parts stock. It's that irrelevant now. Because I mean, what are you actually going to achieve having something like this? It's not like you need it to be able to recover the data. If it's on the hard drive, it's on the hard drive. You get it off the hard drive. You don't need. It's not like a phone or something where you sometimes need to have the RAM in there. So yeah, junk pile status. Speaking of junk pile status, dear God, crypto stocks right now. I wrote a program for myself so that I could, track what was going on and whatnot. And ever since I've done that, the graphs really do look like the path plotted out by a slinky falling down the stairs. What gets me is they all tend to follow each other. I mean, there's a few that don't. There's a few that sort of kick the kick the habit of following everyone else. But by and large, they all seem to just rise and fall the same. They have their little variances, but it's not enough. Which I suppose comes down to the whole intrinsic value thing. It's like, it's sort of all speculation, so I guess everything rises and falls very easily with each other. Then again, it could be someone tweaking the market and making millions upon billions of it. Hell, I'd imagine they are. There's people out there rich enough to do exactly that sort of thing. I'll probably wake up in the morning and go, hey Freddie, let's make a couple of million this morning before we go to work. Oh, sounds like a great idea. So they drop $500 million into something and everyone else around the world goes, look, the stock's going up. And they all jump on too. And the rich guys just sort of go, haha, suckers, and cash out before everyone knows what's happened, taking all their money with them. Hey, I'd do the same if I could. Alrighty. 160 for screen, 26 for fan, so 186. You add my 100 or so plus on top. It's not worth it. Thank you for trying, but no. What I really would like for these situations is to have some sort of cheap cardboard boxing or something like that, which I can put the disassembled laptop into and store it. Because right now, you sort of got to, if you want to store it reasonably compact, you have to reassemble the whole damn thing. And then when you want to get something off it, you've got to pull it all apart and then put it all back together again. Yeah, it just seems like a big waste of time. So it'd be nice if I just sort of could come up with a cardboard box that I could basically archive all these things in. You know, pull, we've got another fan blade, just jump out then. Leave that hard drive out. The person's going to want their data. So yeah. For a big battery pack, it's actually quite empty. So there we go. Failure number 1 for the night. Oh well. Just reading your chats. Let's see. Yeah, not fixing that. I'm gonna go see what my stock is doing right now. Let's have a look. 1, 2. What? Why? I'll show you guys in a second. Could be a little wide for this, but anyway. Wrong one. Oh yeah. So yeah, the blue lines here, it's just sort of like plunk, 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 then rattle on the floor. Plunk, 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 rattle on the floor. It's just all the same. So I'm hoping that ZRX gets up to, if it gets up to about $2, I'll cash back out. Icon was doing so well, and now it's not. So, no, where'd my... There we go. Hopefully they'll get back up to 10. Let's see what my 3-day outlook is. It's just this, yeah, the bears are roaming around and scaring everybody off. Oh well. I'll just hold them. It's not a huge amount of money I'm holding in there, but it's enough. I'll hold them until they come back one day, maybe. Pizza boxes, but you want something a little bit bigger, like, yeah, these are heavy. So basically I can get these things, and these are really good, but they are expensive. Well, I mean, they're not that expensive. It costs me about, on special I usually get them for about, no, I think it's $7.50 or $8 for them. And they make good storage containers, but they're just a bit, I'll be looking more like around about $3 for the archiving type thing. These are more for when customers' equipment needs to be in it, like active customers. Alright, let's get on to the next one before I get too sleepy lazy. There we go. I've got to put a new DC cable in this one. Hopefully it'll be less of a drama. But I get these L650s in so often. But in spite of that, I'll make a mess of this one tonight. To be fair, I'm kind of happy that other one didn't work out. I was dreading putting all those screws back in the right order. I would have had to do something horrible, like look up on the internet or something. Who knows, with the storage thing, maybe I will just have to buy a bulk lot of those plastic containers and it's not massively expensive, you know, the $8-9. But if you have 20 odd laptops in storage, yeah, that adds up. That's nearly $200. Then again, I pretty much blow that much on stock trading. Already got you. Hey, there's no screw in there. Alright. Love it when I get these laptops and no screws. This one's copped some damage. Got a nice chassis crack here. I'm not going to try to fix that up. Okie dokie. Polylus, yeah, I mean the clear ones right, job boxes is a good term for them, yeah. And yeah, I write on them what their job number is and the name and number. I think that's one of the weakest points I have as a business, being just on my own, is checking everything in and out, as giving everything a proper tracking number each time. Because sometimes you get in the middle of a job and the doorbell rings, you got to go and attend to that, and you got to rush back to the job that you're doing, like say if it was some hot air rework or whatever. And it's far too often I will fail to properly mark or note down the information I need for this job that's just come in through the front door. So it's something I've got to work on. The trouble is it relies on me as a human to do the right thing, and that's always a bad idea. Did I miss a screw on the underside there? Did I? I did too. 2 flat panel ones. Just hold that top plate so it doesn't drop on the screen and cause me screen dramas. Strange enough, I can never remember if I need to take the board out for this one. Job boxes are cool to be in the clear plastic, but something for archive is okay to be in pizza box. No, like I said, if I can find a pizza box that's big enough, what? Is this even the right connector? This is not the right connector, I've been sent the wrong connector. Oh, that does not make me happy. Thought it looked a little weird, but I was just sort of thinking, no, you got the... Really? Let's have a look at this connector. Working on getting the boss at work to let us get job boxes. Oh, okay. It's strange, I would have thought that sort of thing would be like in a proper professional place, and like, that looks a little gnarly in there, a little chewed up. Sort of like it's been braided away a fair bit. Let's switch over to main. There we go. Actually, I'll do the other way. So you can see it's gone through the conductive metal top layer, and oh yeah, you can, okay, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but all in here it's cavitated away. That is a very, very used connector. You can see the ribbing on that. That's crazy. I've never seen one that worn out. I've got a cough. Sorry, I'll mute. I do love my mute switch. Alright, well, maybe I've got another one around somewhere. Something that will do the job. What about this one? This just came in the other day, so let's have a look. It's a close relative. This is a L650 D. How fortunate. Alright. Well, I guess the first thing we should do is probably mark this somehow to say you're bad. Let's see, give it a bit of a red coat. Alright, this poor laptop has been through hell. I was going to take the main board out, use it for parts. Because if any of you have seen a couple of my posts lately, wow, that's really effed up. I installed a charge controller for a Dell 15-inch laptop. I installed it about 90 degrees off from what it's supposed to be. As soon as I powered it up, it turned into a Yule log volcanic one as well. And I haven't found a replacement for it yet. Hey, Zero Effect. Even still, Paul, I would have, once you sort of move into 2 or 3 people, I think things like job boxes become quite essential. I mean, it's hard enough keeping track of everything just myself. I can it's murderous trying to do more than one person. It's alright if you got the staff to be able to do something like a one job from start to finish. Don't change jobs halfway. But really, how many people have that luxury? Hey, Pop-Tart. Coca-Cola works a treat on that stuff. Yeah, it'd be fine if it was a tarnish, if it was a varnish build-up. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to put the metal back on that shaft. Just hoping this one isn't as bad. Oh, what the... Oh, I've got a Windows 7 sticker on that. I can use that. Screen's completely effed. Windows 7 is the most valuable part on this. Come on. Come on. There you go. What'd you do that for? You put that in the wrong hole. Oh, there's liquid on that. Tempted to just go straight into the trash for you. This one's never been pulled apart before. I know, because this black adhesive was in perfect condition and in the right place. It's one of those things that once you take it off, it's nearly impossible, no one cares, to put it back in the right place. Hey, Mark Prince. What are you up to, Mark? Just avoiding work? Is Pianov still around here? I think I missed his response to my disdain for the lack of activity on Open Broadview. I walked away from Open Broadview a few months ago because I just sort of, I thought someone else can look after it for a bit. This is not my project per se. All I did was add some stuff to it. Ah, man, I gotta get the DVD drive out, but the DVD drive won't come out because it's got a free disc in it. Oh, best day ever. I get a free The Fairies. Fairy Beach. Oh, from ABC. I'm going to cherish this moment. I should play that now while I disassemble everything. It'll make me happy. I shouldn't mock things like that. I sit down and watch Mermaids or something. It's an Australian show about mermaids, kids show. It's all good fun. DJ Spark Drones yesterday, pretty neat. Just save and board view as open source and leave it be. Yeah, Pop Tart, that's probably a good idea. The thing is, I want to see it still. I want to see it still being actively developed. There's a lot of things that I think really need to be added to it. The biggest thing that I want to see is networked annotations sort of thing. Like if anyone who's used ZXW or whatever it is will know that you can leave notes and things like that in there, and that helps other people who are also looking at it. So I can do that already with the annotations, but I haven't made it so that it's networked. There's a few other little tweaks I want to do. What am I doing? That's right, I want the connector. So I'd like to see that happen. I do have a couple of issues with trying to determine how to authenticate the submissions. The last thing you want is people just putting complete trash in there. The beloved modem that no one ever uses. Running a crappy C wrapper around C++ to use in C Sharp on Android. Oh, why are you doing that? What project are you working on? Or you're not allowed to talk about it? That's kind of harsh having to write that many wrappers. If you don't suffer too much performance penalty. Or is it just a compile time wrapper as opposed to a runtime wrapper? I wonder if this has got one of the chips I'm after. I'll have to have a look. Okay, that's essentially junk. Everything's damaged on that, including the screen. So I can go in the rubbish bin. I've got my cable, and it looks a bit better. So this is a much better type board. This is sort of Toshiba that I do like. It's sensibly designed. I'm going to have a look and see if I can find any of the chips that I want. I'm after a Maxim. I'm probably not going to be on here, but it's got to have, I think I'm one after 6 pins per side. Charge controller. No, you're 7435. I'm pretty sure you're no good. You do have 6 pin. The other thing is there are substitutes for what I'm after. You 51125, yep. Ooh, is that you? Are you it? Come on, tell me you're the one I want. You sure look like it. No, you got too many pins. I'm gonna go see what my desired chip was that I want. I'm after a Maxim 8731AE, and it has 7 pins per side. It's 28 pin chip, so it's a 8731AE. degrees. Alright, now I've lost my... Alright, I'm back. And that's not an 8731, and it's got too many pins. So I guess what would be curious is, was that other one I saw a drop-in replacement? Because I know I've done some drop-in replacements before. Not enough legs on you. Nor you. No, I don't think this has got anything that I can use today. Oh well. This here can now go into spares. Okay, you can come back because... please, Paul, stop beating things up. This can go into the pile of PC mainboards. We're going to be stripping this thing later too. This is a whopping great big 17-inch S70T Toshiba. Sadly, it's got a dead PCH, which means I am not going to replace it. But we're fortunate. We were able to find the cable we wanted. So I'm happy. Come on, get you back in there. Beautiful. Now to reassemble. Where's your top dig? Yeah, popped out that one there didn't, the board I just looked at didn't have one that was similar enough. Usually they're ISL type chips, or branded chips. For some reason that one was a Maxim. The one that I blew up. Because I was an idiot. Okay, that's good. For the laptop I'm repairing that I blew it up on is a Dell Studio 15-inch, what do they call it, 1555, yeah, so 1555. I mean, I don't have to fix it, just the person said to me, hey, if you can fix it, that's great, I'll be happy to pay. And the problem it has is that it's just not powering up, and I don't get my, let's say, my 5-volt always signal, well, I should say rail sort of is intermittent. It's all over the place. Which of course is then going to make you go, well, why was I working on the charger chip? And the answer is that I wasn't supposed to be. I got my board view and schematic a little bit confused in my head. And then I went for that chip, replaced it with the one spare that I did have. And yeah, got it wrong. That's okay. The one I was supposed to replace was the one that obviously does the generation of those voltages, the 3V3 and 5-volt always, as well as the 15-volt gate drive that's used across the board. It does that using a charge pumped capacitor arrangement. Alright. Hey, Q's. First board found. Oh, good on. 8725. How different's that? I'm sure it's probably different enough. So I'm pretty sure most of the ones that I got here use the 5.127 from Intersil. I think it's that one. Don't quote me on that. So you up to Q's? You guys working hard? Tuesday, got the Monday out of the way. Time to kick back. Alright, what's going on here? I do not want to screw you down tight, even though you say you're... Did I just... Say you're an F6, but you do not feel like... It's a... Hey, Moe! My goodness, it's been a while since I've seen you. You've been frozen or something, since you're talking about hibernation. Did you get caught up in that snow nuclear bomb, whatever they wanted to call it over wherever? Because the great thing is, with that extreme cold snap that the States had, you know that's just going to excite all the... it's going to excite all the people saying, see, global warming's a hoax. It's like, yeah, well, over here in Australia, we're having the hottest ever, so that counters that. I think they really need to change that term, though, global warming. It should be more like global chaos or global destabilization due to excessive energy in the system. I don't know. Maybe it's from the Earth being too flat. So, speaking of flat Earth, anyone know when Falcon Heavy is supposed to launch? Because have they even done their static test yet for Falcon Heavy? Because I'm getting real impatient. Especially considering we had a couple of launches the other day with other rockets. Okay. Oh, Cormac. Nice to see you. Wow, everybody's turning up today. This is awesome. Oh, that did not sound pretty. I think it might have just been a bit of shazzy. Alright, charger brick now. A person was kind enough to supply me with the charger brick. Too much work for an 18-year-old? What are you talking about? 18 is the perfect age to get more work than ever. Work is a little harder to churn through as the years tick on. Okay. I was meant to put the new power board in down here today. What did I sit on? I sat on a screw. Lovely. But I didn't get around to it. Okay, I don't have anything. What's going on? Did I push that in far enough? Clearly I did not. See if we've got voltage. Why didn't I test this? I don't know why, because I was too busy talking to everybody. Should just be called global entropy. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. But then you're going to have to try and explain entropy to people. I suppose that is a lot easier than trying to explain everything else. Yeah, we got 19 volts. Thought you were going to say 18 is a perfect age to get laid. I'm not even. I'm going to avoid that topic. It could be incriminating. Then again, these days it seems like, yeah. Oh, leave it alone, Paul. Get off the topic. Okay, off the topic. Alright, my guess is that maybe I didn't push the connector in hard enough. I'm going to go for that. Connector not in enough. It's a brick, it's just not a power. What? I have got a cat at my door. Meow, is that you? It's Micro. What are you doing in here? This is my skittish cat. Scared of everything. He's touching some bubble wrap right now and he's terrified of it. Come on. Come over here. Micro. I shouldn't have let him in. Come here. And now you like the bubble wrap. You're going to lie on the bubble wrap. Come on. Alright, let's do a watch the kitty internet. Let's say it later, everyone. You can't see anything down there, can you? Let's see, auto exposure. What are you doing? And you can hear the gecko. You're on YouTube and you're showing everybody the mess that's under my desk. Eh? Micro. You're gonna take you out. Come on, you gotta go back outside. Come on. You wanna go back outside? Disinterested in such matters. Oops. I'm gonna have to get under the. Come on. You wanna come up? Come on. You. Okay. Alright. That was a bit of an excursion. He doesn't normally come in here. He, like I said, is very skittish. He was an abandoned kitten, and we picked him up. We'd just lost our cat from he got run over, unfortunately, which is something that haunts me still. And then the vet clinic obviously knew that we'd lost our cat, and little micro turn up in their care about a week or two later. And initially we were a little reluctant, but in the end we sort of said, oh, well, let's go down and have a look, and just have a look. And that was it. We brought him home. I've got a video of him as a kitten on my YouTube page somewhere, but it's hidden at the moment. But unfortunately he managed to pick up cat flu, and he's also deathly scared of pythons, but he loves snakes. This is because snakes move fast, pythons move slow. And so he considers the slow moving things as some unnatural beast of Satan. And sadly, once he gets that fright from the snake, he's usually very uncertain about things for a month or two afterwards. We do use hormone therapy, like the air dispenser things, and it helps a lot. But in the end, I think we just need a new house and better yard, things like that. Our cats stay with us inside at night. We do let them outside in special enclosures. We've got about 400 square meters of properly enclosed 8-foot fence sort of thing where they can't get out. And they're monitored. We've got security cameras, and we stay home. So it's a pretty good setup. You use this cat's picture for your channel and you put it on the camera. Yep, that's right. That's the one. And that's actually how Lewis Rossman first remembered me, because he saw Micro as my Twitter avatar picture. And then from there, he recognized him when I was on YouTube in the chat. And from there, obviously, after that, Lewis got to know me more through the software. Open Board View, of course. But yeah, you're right. That is, Micro is the one that I use for my YouTube and Twitter picture. Hey, David Legault. So it reminds me, I can't even read that. Tell me I took those screws out. I did. It's just latched. We do have 2 other cats. 2 girls. They're also rescues, though they were 6 months old when we got them. Yeah, this is going to force me to have to take the board out. I'm not overly happy about that. Oh, I've lost my light. Sorry, just noticed the brightness dropped right off. It's a bit better. Yeah, I don't think I quite pushed that in enough. Let's try now. At least these laptops are easier. Let's put a battery pack on it and see what happens. Not seeing any blue light. Charge light, rather. Okay. Alright, in theory, I should be able to just short these two terminals that you can barely see. We should get power. We got nothing. What the hell's going on? Great. Seems we've got something a little more complicated than I expected. I mean, definitely that port was definitely cactus. But we've got something new now. Time to bring out the multimeter again. This is supposed to be an easy job. Hey Lisa. What? I've got no voltage there. A green light on the charger, but I've got no voltage. What the hell happened? What? It's weird, the brick's reading 17, 18, 17. That's no good. That brick should be putting out 19. It's all over the place. Have I got a dud brick? Has the customer got a dud brick? Yeah, so I mean that's nice and steady, 19.4. And I feel comfortable with that being the right output. I don't know why I didn't think to check the brick before I pulled this all apart again. Assumptions, they'll get you every time. brick feels very light. I get the feeling that it's a dud. Yeah, now we've got lights. Yeah. So there we go, you can see the light. So we got a dud brick. And that, my friends, is how you waste half your day being inefficient by doing dumb things like that. Failing to eliminate upwards or downwards, whichever way you feel is appropriate. I feel like I was slightly misled by the customer on the grounds that they told me that if they wiggled it around, well, you see, that's the thing. It looks like it was a dual situation here. They told me they wiggled it around and it would come good again, and then it would go off again. So that would be certainly the cable that we replaced, fixing that. But then that was my fault, not checking the power brick itself. And I didn't get any power. Well, I mean, actually I did check the power brick. I checked to see that I had 19 volts. So, yeah. Okay, it wasn't entirely my fault. It wasn't entirely me being dumb. I feel better now. And believe me, I do enough dumb things on a daily basis. Like blowing up Maxim chips by turning them the wrong way around. Okay, ITM2. Zenodade and the side of the brick on the way out. There. Always use your own charger to test. Yep. I think that's another reason why I really need to get my power board set up here a bit better, so that I can have easier access to do that sort of thing quickly. This is where small changes in your workshop can make big differences in your workflow. Like if it's an inconvenience, as it is currently, for me to install a brick because I've got to go over there and shuffle things around and whatnot. Although when I'm normally working on my laptops, it's unless it's board work, it's up on another bench. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes small changes can make big differences in your workflow. Well, yeah, Wayne, $20 for a new brick, though that is a new brick. That's the other problem. I can see it's a new brick. It's one of the fairly typical ones I see. So I think I might have to go for more of the $40 genuine bricks. I gotta admit, I'm a little uncertain as to how genuine those genuine ones are. Crud. Excuse me. That was a burp of discontentment. Where are you? I know I left you off. There. The TL43431 argument. Well, yes, I mean it is an op amp, but it operates as the Zener, programmable Zener. But yeah, you're right. It is just an op amp. As soon as you look at the schematic for it, the internals. So I suppose both are right. All a matter of reference, context. I do like them. I like using them in designs. What I'm going to do next for a live stream is I am going to program in a new feature I want for Open Board View. Because I use it myself, or I want to use it myself. And that is basically so that some boards, when you load them up, they're mirrored, or they're just upside down from whatever you usually like to view them as. So it's going to be a bit of a double feature thing. I'm going to write it so that the database file that you normally see with the board view file, like if you have a board view, say 820.332.brd, you'll notice there's also another file called 820.332.SQLite3. And right now we only use that for holding the annotation data, but I'm going to add another field into it which will allow me to have just generic data that I want to put in that I can parse internal within Open Board View. That is the wrong... you're a screwed up DVD drive. You're not going back in there. Now the reason why I don't want to just keep adding more fields to the database is it just makes it a bit awkward. It'd be nice to have a field that can take generic, kind of like basically a text configuration file like what Open Board View already uses, but it'll be per board specific. Come on, why don't you want to go in? So the first thing I'll be doing is creating that aspect in the database file, and then the first use of it will be for me to be able to set for me to be able to store the preferred orientation, mirroring, or whatever pattern for that particular board file. Yeah, no way I'm going to go try opening up these laptop bricks. They're welded, plastic welded things. I don't know whether they're sonic welded or chemical welded or whatever, but all too easy to hurt yourself, particularly given they're so cheap. I think one way that I find you can sometimes open them up is put them into a vise, and that often cracks the seam line. Come on. Yeah, I've sort of lost a bit of momentum there with the iPhone boards. Okay, why do I have so many screws spare? What did I forget? Oh, right. No, you're good. And you're good. Weird, you guys didn't fit before. there's a lot of projects I want to get into. Like I really do want to work on a crowdsourced iPhone board view file set, but I need to write the right sort of software so it can be done through the web and be done easily without causing people a whole lot of nightmares. People don't want to be sitting there like, and this is too hard to use. I just want to go to a board view file and add my contribution. Don't make me... There we go, we're up and running. Okay, Greg, good to see you. Alright, that's running. So that's what there was. The first part was the very badly worn out connector in that. Second part was a blown charger brick. So, this really feels very light. So this is kind of like when you get those Apple clone chargers. It's probably got a dirty great big screw hot glued to one side of it to make it feel like it's heavy. Or at least trying to. Okay, shut this down. I had a MacBook brick I opened up. It blew a cap and it was pretty easy to crack. Shielded in copper too. Okay. I've never had much luck opening these without opening up parts of my flesh at the same time. I know some people, they cut it open. Most of the cutting tools I've got tend to bind up too much on that plastic. So yeah, I don't even bother. We might be lucky here. That's the brick from the previous Toshiba. So if I designate, if the customer decides that they're not going to bother with anything of that old laptop, the big 17-inch Toshiba, well then this person can have their power brick. This has got a fair bit of heft in this one. 19, this is the 120 watt one. Use a knife and smack the knife. Yeah, see, now that would just usually result in me ending up in the A&E department or the, what do you guys call it, emergency room, ER department. So I'm going to have to pass on that generous idea. Alright, so that's sorted. You're just going to go... Yeah, we'll quite put you in the bin yet, but... Trash. Give the brick to the cat, he will open it. Alright. Toshiba L650 D. Ah. Come on. Alright, last one for the night. I am really sad that this laptop ended up with the bad PCH. This is truly a nice laptop. I mean, look at that. That's just, it's pristine. It's a Core i7. No, bad PCH. The way this one exhibits its fault is everything seems normal. You boot, and then things just start getting slow. And slower and slower and slower. And unfortunately it is a known fault with this particular model that the PCH, something goes wrong with the SATA interface, and instead of transferring 100 megabyte a second or 200 megabyte a second, it's more like half a megabyte or 1 megabyte a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take the board out and use it for parts. I'm not sure if the CPU is removable on these ones. I don't think it is. Like I said, it's a real shame. Very nice laptop, just no good. Oh, hang on there, I'll be back in a second. Right, that was my wife checking to see if I wanted some food. She's got some nice hot red Laska soup. So I'll get this board out and then I'll go have some soup. What is this? 1:15 in the morning. Red hot Laska soup should really... Probably not the best thing to have, but I don't care. Alright, my way. No, I appreciate that you dropped in. It's just a shame I don't see you much anymore, but I understand. I need to get more guitar picks. That keyboard is in such good condition, I could legitimately use that again. Hey, Johnny Lation, yeah, real good, working hard, like I should be. Not earning enough money, like normal, but that's my own fault. Is there any way to use DDR Rescue to test an unknown hard drive for bad spots to see if the drive is usable? Just get someone from... Yeah, Greg, yeah, that's one of the videos I need to do, but I will give you the command right now. Just do DD Rescue VF, that's P6. You need the latest DD Rescue X0... Okay, and obviously SDX is whatever the drive is, like SDC or whatever. And what that command set does is it's obviously V for verbose, F for force because you're dealing directly with the devices rather than say files. The P16 is so that it shows you the last 16 lines of data that it's read off that sector. And the X0, that's what will happen there is if it detects any errors, it will quit. So it's basically, it's not going to waste any time if it spots an error. As soon as it gets an error, it's just sort of going to go, well, this drive is no use, so don't bother. I've forgotten where the seam line is on these things. Ah. DDR Rescue will also let you do write testing now. In the latest release, I think it's 1.23, 1.23 release candidate 1 came out the other day. There we go. Alright, it is a socketed CPU. Nice. I should take that CPU off and use that. And at least the chassis is in good condition, so if anyone damages theirs, I can replace it. Although to be fair, most of the time the only time I've ever seen these come in is with this PCH failure problem. ZX, yeah, it does. Yeah, just on the hard drive transfers. Does it in Linux. And yeah, it's just really sad because I thought it's a nice laptop otherwise. It starts out pretty quick, but then it sneaks in after a minute or two, sometimes quicker. What have I got under here? How did I not see you? Okay. Almost seems a shame to have to steal parts off this board. Alright. Put the case back on. Yeah, Pop-Tart, you definitely see a socket there. I was a bit surprised myself. That's an original keyboard for sure. Alright, you're out of here too. I'd say the screen on that and the i7 CPU I probably could send off to eBay. PCH, an irreplaceable. Well, it's not irreplaceable, it's just dreadfully inconvenient. It's not worth the time. I can get a replacement board for these for around about 300 Australian, something like that. And there's no point me trying to... So that's it there. So don't imagine the underfill goes under too far. We'll see what's... Let's have a look at see what i7 we've got here. The other thing is I could sell the cooling setup, but I might just keep it for parts. Oops, scratch that board. Come on. Ha! I'm not reflowing it. What's this? 947 pin? It's got a torque screw. Too big. It's obviously it's a PGA. But my button isn't working in the right place. There we go. Let's see what we get. I honestly don't know how to tell which i7 I've got here. Get a napkin. We'll get all that gunk off. Actually, I should have done this while it was in the board. In fact, I probably will just put that back on the board rather than risk bending those pins. Go. 4700 is it? Well, being 4th gen, okay, it's not quite so enticing to me now. Given that my laptops, the encoding laptop I'm using right now for YouTube, that's a i5 5200, so it's probably in the same realm of performance. I'm not going to try and get the gunk out of between those caps. I was more just trying to see if there was a code under there, but there is not, so... Alright. In which case, I need to find a carrier for it. I don't think I've got any suitable CPU foam to hold them in. At least not around at the moment. It'll be in one of my electronics containers, but nothing I really feel like going after right now. Klutz. Up left corner is your... Oh, SR15H. Okay, I remember that. Thanks, Traffic. Appreciate that. Let's put my tools back, lest I lose them. Oh, I know what we're going to have a look at. Have a look, see if I can find one of those controllers I'm after. Probably, maybe... What are you... 95812. That could be a drop-in replacement. Anyone want to see if that is a replacement? 95812 HRZ. I'll look for it anyway. 95812. It's got the same pin count. What the heck just dropped off then? Oh my goddamn CPU. I'm so sorry, CPU. I've basically just ruined your life. For shockingly, it seems the pins are okay. Why do you look different? This dude here looks different. I need to put him somewhere safe, because obviously I'm not a safe person. I guess I'll just put it into a zippy bag. It'll tolerate it. Hey, Cryjo. So we got i7 4700. Is it worth even putting something like that on eBay? Will I get, what, $50 for it? Or are you guys going to tell me it's worthless and then convince me to sell it for nothing, and then I find out later that it was actually worth a lot more? But I have a feeling it's probably maybe $50. Well, it'll be fine, and it's a little baggy. At least the pins won't get bent. Yeah, we get back to what I was trying to do, which is to see if I could find an equivalent for the beloved chip that I blew up the other day. Okay, you're a real tech. No, what are you? You're an audio. You're something else entirely. I'm pretty sure it was that 95, 815 or whatever it was. We got another intercell here. 88 732. Could that be it? Yeah, I might do that, Zero. These things I am so much not a fan of. It's like I get far too many laptops coming in and they've been blown out by something. It's like, well, so long and, thanks for all the fish. Alright, I think I'm done. This one's gonna go into the parts pile. That i7 goes for about $100 on eBay. Oh, beautiful. I guess I just got to find a suitable victim. I'll give it a shot. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. It's 1:30 and I've got soup waiting for me. So I guess I'll call it for the night, but I appreciate that everybody sat around and put up with the boredom. I know you guys love it. So Dragon, yeah, they can be programmed, but I guess it's just such a pain to deal with it, and half the time they're different. It's a case of time versus, is it worth even putting the time into it? If you've got another board, great, lift it straight off. If you don't, then it's walk away from it. Fine if it doesn't matter, but yeah, anyway. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. But thanks again, everyone. And, I'll see you guys next time. I might do a pre-edited video when I get around to doing the DD rescue thing. But otherwise, you all take care. Catch you later.